Hi, I'm James McGuire, and on today's eSpeaks, we're looking at the software as a service business application sector. We'll find out what trends are driving the sector, and we'll talk about what it means to future-proof technology in the event of a recession. To discuss that, I'm joined by Ernesto Boada, Senior Vice President, Business Technology at Workday. Ernesto, very good to have you with us today.
James, thank you very much for having me.
So I know you're very close to the markets. As you survey the market for cloud-based software, what's a key trend you see affecting the SaaS sector this year?
Well, many things are happening, right? I mean, and I wish we can kind of go in each one, but I think if I were to look carefully, kind of what we're seeing ahead of us, at least this coming year, definitely is a significantly increase. Not, I will not just say an investment on machine learning and AI, but many of products like SaaS products or cloud products are coming and already building features related to AI and machine learning in their products. It is becoming a reality nowadays for us. If we were probably go back a couple of years, we were talking about data and wanting to have all these hundreds of data elements. And now we see all these great providers of data management giving us this power, compute power to process hundreds of millions of records instantly, right? But I think that what is key for us is leave all that complexity to our systems and put machine learning and models that help us to free up, I would say, time and help our employees and our co-workers to make decisions better or based on a potentially better insights from data. I think that's going to be the biggest trend. I mean, at Workday, I can tell you that we continue leveraging any feature that comes with AI in our financial solution or an HR solution. And it is making a huge difference. I will not just exaggerate with the word, because we're helping people to truly focusing on making those decisions based on a much more, probably I'll call it curated data and information in their hands. I think that's a big thing. Yeah, and I can
Yeah,
go on, but there's more.
well, it's interesting about the machine learning and that I think a lot of companies think to themselves, well, we want to get on the AI machine learning train and we need to go out and buy that. But I think, as you mentioned, it's built into so many solutions. That's really
Yep.
the answer is how are we going to adopt machine learning more? The answer is it's going to be built into applications going forward.
Yeah, it is. It is coming more and more, right? I see it personally because we not only again we uh, kind of embrace SaaS technologies. We use a lot of SaaS technologies as well. So we see them in many of the products out there that you have features already embedded. I think the machine learning world or AI world is really big, right? And if we probably go back a couple of years, people always was thinking about, oh, how do I manage all this data? How many people do I need to hire to build these models and train the models, right? So all those things, new companies continue getting better and better and helping putting those kind of solutions to a particular use cases, right? To be able to be more predictable in certain instances, right? To be able to sort through hundreds. I mean, like in the financial service space, sort through hundreds of transactions, so we can determine, what type of transaction it is, what type of vendor it is, what. So the machine engine help us to go ahead on that and simplify what the ultimate customer is seeing or the ultimate in this particular case financial analysts are seeing. So it's helping us to be more ahead of the data that is we're seeing. I think that's the part that like I said, it's a big spectrum. Most of the SaaS solutions is not that they're building a open AI machine learning engine where you can build your own models or you can do that. Certainly you can integrate, certainly you can extract data and combine it. But if building on how the data gets processed, they're offering those kind of solutions on top.
Mhm, mhm. You mentioned something really interesting. You talked about the idea of future-proofing technology during a recession. I think there's certainly interest in that. What does it mean in your view to future-proof a solution?
Well, I was listening to this economist and a couple of weeks back. I'm in a meeting at the company, and this is one of the recessions that we cannot just go back and say, you know what, it was the same as 2008 or it was the same as many years back, right? It
Mhm.
is unique set of factors, and probably I will not get into that since I'm not a special economist. But so there's a lot of things that there's a lot of unknowns that we don't have right now, and companies definitely are trying to wonder what to do. First of all, second, we nowadays technology is literally in everybody's life at work. It's
Mhm.
not just in the pure technology companies. We're all programming, and we need collaboration tools, and we need productivity tools, and so on and so forth. But if you go to any retail business, or if you go to anything, the technology is in their palm, right? It could be delivering a package. It could be checking. You paying your check. I mean, you can see it is everywhere. So everybody's interacting so much with technology. So the demand of technology is really high. The amount of solutions that are out there keep coming, right? I mean, there's anybody who goes and searches for, I don't know, a tool to do something. There's a long list of tools that can come up, and you can download it, 7 days free trial, and so on and so forth. But then the companies start getting a lot of technologies, and I think that's kind of the second dimension of it is how do we start truly controlling and managing where are the right technologies that we need to invest,
Mhm.
saying that everybody needs to do technology. So IT now has to take a different role to truly understand what technology should be offering. It's not like, what are the best three technologies? Why are we offering that technology,
Mhm.
right? And we need to be continue investing in that. So if we are able to provide the right technology, not focusing or not just create a big proliferation of technology out there or tools and software, but we can be able to focus on those that we going to maintain. Then we can invest. We can make sure we're not running behind, creating technology debt and things like that. So right now, during these recessions, in my opinion, many companies are going to look inwards. Sometimes with the ideas, how can we reduce expense or how can we spend more smartly? I think
Mhm.
technology has a lot to do on that, and I think this is an opportunity to fundamentally take our core technologies and make sure that they are ready, right? When companies go out of, or we all go out of this recession, are we ready to this expansion in the economy? Are we ready to be able to sell more products or whatever we do? So we need to be able to take our core technology and make sure it's in a good shape. So we need to invest in that, but we also need to simplify the ecosystem.
Mhm.
And I'm a believer that IT has a lot to do with that, and it has to have a real point of view on how we want technology to be used by our employees. Sometimes we'll be wrong, sometimes we'll be right, but I think helping us to put that thinking hat instead of just being a provider, but more a partner and actually an expert, I think will help in this recession. And I think this is how the technology start kind of evolving very fast, of course, through COVID and the hybrid environments and so on and so forth.
Hmm. If I completely fully understand your answer, would I say it comes down to planning and being in touch with monitoring the employees to see how they're really using the technology, but also in a larger sense, planning? Is that really what it's all about?
Yeah, I think first of all, investing in our core technology, right? This is an opportunity to get what we have, to make sure that when recession passes, we have a better systems to be able to continue doing whatever we do, whatever product or things that we sell. That's one. The second one is definitely to look into how we can consolidate and provide the right technologies to the right set of individuals, and make sure that we don't get hundreds of technologies ahead of us that we have to support. I
Mhm.
mean, as wanting to reduce cost, but also invest in what I need to do. I need to make sure that we're not just having all these technologies in the world out there. We need to be able to be truly um, um, knowledgeable on what we offer. We need to have a point of view of what employee needs across any single role.
Well, all right. I think one of the issues that companies deal with in terms of the applications they use to do their work is there's a surprising proliferation of apps and
Yeah.
solutions that companies face. I mean, they've been in business in many cases for years and years, and they've assembled all these applications. Sometimes they have the legacy apps and the new apps. It's hard to make sense of handling all this proliferation. Advice on this one?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think first thing is to truly understand is what is out there, right? And as I mentioned earlier, is to have a point of view, what is the right technology? I'll give you a simple example that actually happens on a daily basis, right? We are continue focusing on technology to do collaboration, right? And you can find that there's so many, and I'll refrain to name any, but there are many, and we happen to have many of those in our systems.
Hmm.
But what we're not doing is truly understand what are the personas and what are the use cases that needs to be used by those. And second, we need to be able to truly understand how the technology works and help our employees to be using the technology. Sometimes the differences between one or the other one are minimum. And because that particular use case is needed by this business and the other use case is needed by other business, and they don't talk each other or nobody support them, then we end up acquiring the two. And then IT has to support the two, because then the next question is, well, you know what? It doesn't work with my operating system. Or I happen to run this. I cannot take this data and move it to somewhere else. So now I need to support two, not to say the least. I mean, probably more and more and more.
Mhm.
So the fact that the access to applications is so easy, and that comes since the iPhone and things like that, it comes so easy that you can just click and get an app. um, Makes that everybody, and like I was saying earlier, you can get a free trial and then you can get it and they get into it and then start growing. And I'm simplifying a business reason why people are getting those apps, but and then it becomes uncontrollable, and
Right.
you can have security issues, you can have data privacy issues, you can have many things that we have to control, and we need to make sure that it's not happening. So I think that proliferation, in my opinion, is not good. I think it's always fine to change. If we decide to have one particular platform and decide a year or two later change platforms,
Mhm.
again, we need to continue evolving and we need to use technology in our advantage. But I think proliferation is only creates a lot of chaos, a lot of expense, and
Mhm.
definitely put the companies at risk.
Hmm. So, all right, I want to talk about the future of enterprise tech, but first let's take at least a little bit of time, and I want to give you a chance to talk about Workday in particular.
Yes.
What is the Workday advantage? If companies are out there, they're looking for solutions, why would they select Workday in particular?
Yeah. Well, one of the main reasons is an opportunity to truly consolidate and manage. Again, if you get financials and HR, you manage all that core in one single space,
Mhm.
right? We set a set of features by industry that pretty much what we've been working on is to make sure that we can fulfill many of those, right? And the fact that you can have your HR data and your finance data together give you a tremendous amount of power, right? You can not only combine them, you can do. I mean, nowadays with employees and having all this great resignation and all these changes and things like that, it gives us power to truly understand what is the right set of skills and how we can train people. So the fact that we can have that in one single place, right? One core data manage that, it helps us significantly and actually reduce the cost. Because sometimes when I see a lot of oil companies, they have a lot of solutions and they have to do a lot of integrations. This one comes as a one single part. So it gives you a lot of standardization on our solutions and how you should be running finance and HR, but gives you tremendous opportunity to do data augmentation, reporting, analytics, and gives a lot of that in the powers of the employees. We're also focusing as well to deliver. Again, we mentioned a little bit about the AI and machine learning. We have very robust solutions helping us in the financial space to not only make better decisions but analyze the data better, right?
Mhm.
When we get invoices, when we get contracts, when we get all this information, we can have ahead of the users and determine what are those contracts for, what are those invoices for, what are the vendors. We can go in and truly update information before any financial analysis comes in. So allow us to enrich that significantly and very powerful. Same thing on the employee side, right? We're moving. This is not new. We're moving more from a performance to skill base, from hiring to, again, performance management from a skill-based perspective and things like that. So help us to truly determine what are the skills of the company that we need, where are we seeing a deficit on the skills, where do we see an extra, how
Mhm.
can we train. So having all this information in one single place definitely helps leaders to be focusing on running the business instead of trying to figure out how do I combine my HR data with my finance data with my revenue data, so
Mhm.
I can do a good forecast. And if I am in a service provider business, how do I forecast my people to be able to be billable, right? So now you can do it all together in one single place.
I think certainly companies are needing that. They're seeking that.
Yeah.
Um, let's look ahead. I think that's, I would love to get your take on the future of enterprise tech, enterprise software. It's surely that time when people are looking ahead. I mean, a lot of issues involved with enterprise software. Is there one milestone or one trend you'd predict in the years ahead?
Well, I said that earlier. I think again, machine learning is probably where I will go to, right? One of the things that I'm doing within my organization in IT is again leveraging the SaaS solution is truly focusing on a couple of things. Is what is the value that we're bringing, what is the experience that we're delivering, and how we're using data to become better on what we deliver, right? You get to hear a lot about observability. You get to hear a lot about managing that information to make not only again not just the AI, but be ahead, right? Be very proactive. I think IT needs to have solutions where help us to be really proactive to support business, to support employees directly, but any technology that allow us to be closer to kind of again our employees, I think is going to be very, very, very helpful. And like I said, I think earlier, I can see more features on the machine learning space and AI coming in all the SaaS solutions. Again, we're delivering a lot and very fast. And I think that is going to be how intelligent we can use technology to run our process and how we can help people to make decisions, not just from their guts, but with truly data. I think that's going to be the biggest thing. From an employee perspective, or supporting employees is how do we truly use technology to influence their productivity? How do we can drive simplicity through that through that new workspace environment, hybrid working from the office? How do we truly create a seamless collaboration environment and productivity? So I think that is going to be the two parts that I feel like is going to be very important, all centralized ultimately in data.
Hmm. I think it makes perfect sense. It's going to be an interesting sector to follow.
It is.
Uh, Ernesto, thank you so much for sharing your insight today. I definitely learned a lot. I hope you come back and talk with us again sometime. Thank you
Thank you,
very
James.
much.
I appreciate it.